recently, I reached out to you guys and asked for your hottest zombies takes, and made a video reacting to them. You all loved that and came out with even more hot takes, as well as telling me that my takes are worse than my viewers' takes. Which is probably right. So, sit back and sit tight as I react to more of your hot takes. From the completely true and the utterly false, to the extremely spicy and the downright insane. We'll start this one off with a doozy. Hot takes. The Easter eggs, especially BO3, suck, and offer literally no hint or help to push you along. I'm positive the only way people end up figuring out the steps of some of these Easter eggs is the bigger streamers get some secret tips from the devs. How do they expect people, streamers or even regular people, to figure out some of these main and side Easter eggs out? The story should be much easier to get into, and having a easier Easter egg and a hardcore Easter egg would be much better. I also dislike that in BO3 and beyond you basically need an encyclopedia to do anything in the map. Right, let's dissect this one by one. Right, the Easter eggs suck, especially in BO3. Blah-de-da. I don't think that the streamers get like tips from the devs or anything. Like, if you've actually like seen these, you'll know that they just like interact with everything. They just shoot at everything. It's like they just, if in doubt, they just brute force their way through like everything. It's insane. I think that really just the zombies community is fucking insane when it comes to things like this. There should be an easy Easter egg and a hardcore Easter egg. Yeah, gotta agree with that one. Massive agree. Like the final Reich, that was it. The fact that there's an easy Easter egg and a hardcore Easter egg was brilliant, and I don't know why they didn't ever bring that back. In BO3 and beyond, you basically need an encyclopedia to do anything in the map. Sometimes in BO3 it does feel like that. I feel like in BO4 it's not as bad, especially maps like Voyage, Alpha Omega is another one I think. Ancient Evil. I think in BO4 they did sort of tone that down a bit, if I'm thinking like BO3 and beyond. Generally, I feel like these games could have done a better job at telling you what to do. You know, if you're getting things like, say, for example, the upgraded KC4, that's a bitch. The masks in Revelations, or some of the bows, like the steps of the bows in DE. Like, for the first time around, like, I've basically got the Stormbow memorized, but for the others, I have no fucking clue. I probably need to pull up a guide for that. And then this guy replies, Easter eggs are goated, you don't need guys to pack except ZNS. Hard disagree. Again, I think the parts of the pack-a-punch are in static spawn locations. It's just getting, like, there's just so many fucking doors on ZNS. It's just buying them all. Just buying all the doors you need. There's just so fucking many. If there was no Easter eggs, people would get bored real quick. Yeah. Easter eggs have a lot of hints in BO3, it makes sense. Honestly, I'm not very attentive, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, man. My hot take is that the most fun part of any zombies map are the setup rounds. That's when all the excitement happens, and that is all about optimizing your resources and being the most efficient. As soon as you have all your perks and guns fully upgraded, it becomes boring. This depends on the map, really. Like, the setup in, say for instance, Gorod Crovey, I think that's got a decent setup to it. I think that's quite a good setup. Mob of the Dead, that's a pretty good setup as well. Like, that's sort of... But like on a map like, say for instance, Shadows of Evil, the setup in that map is so fucking boring. By the time I've gotten like 3 of the rituals done, I just want to stop playing the fucking map. It is boring. Like, ugh. It really just does depend on the map. Hot take. Zetsubo no Shima would have been better if you lowered the amount of RNG with the challenges to get the lightning shield. Honestly, I have actually never been able to get it because the challenges are fucking annoying. So yeah, gotta agree. I think 5, Varux, and Farm are very underrated. 5 I think is a bit underrated. It can be quite difficult, and well, with BO1 being BO1, the weapons are kind of crap as well, and the Winter's Howl. But it does have its fun to it. The Pentagon Thief is a fun boss, and getting your pack-a-punch guns and then opening the like that conference room door to see, and like seeing the horde of zombies running towards you, just blasting them down is always a very memorable part of 5. Varrocked, I think Varrocked is properly rated. It's a World at War map. It did innovate, you know, a few things that sort of just become mainstays of zombies, but nowadays it's nothing special other than maybe the atmosphere. Obviously, that's obviously going to be very spooky, but I think it's properly rated. And Farm exists, I guess. My hot take is, well, Vanguard. Vanguard, oh, I love that game. Vanguard, yes, I love I remember, like, you know, my favourite character is, like, Sarxis. Anyway, being serious now, Vanguard wasn't actually the worst thing ever. Not good, but it was somewhat enjoyable. I'm talking about the unique maps, not the remake. Oh, well, I was with you up until the unique maps. Alright, let's have a look. Duran Fong and Terra Maledicta are boring. It's just not a good objective mode. It's very, very boring. It's like Outbreak, but they took the worst parts of it. And the Archon, honestly, it's just there. Honestly, yeah, sure, it isn't the worst thing ever. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think Shino Numa Reborn is definitely the best of the maps. The Archon, it's there. I maybe I should play it some more. The Archon just, to me, it just kind of sucks. Buried is the best zombies map of all time. It's a really good map. I'm currently replaying through every map to do a ranking the best, ranking all the zombies maps worst to best. I'm currently replaying every map to get like background footage and shit, and just to sort of refresh my memory. Buried is a pretty good map, but I can tell it's going to be very high on that list. Whether I agree on this as being the best map of all time, we'll have to wait and see for that video. Deadwire, albeit the strongest AAT in BO3, is the worst one for training in any game. Makes the zombies stand in one place and allows for more pile-ups and downing. For training, I mean, it's still a really good AAT, even if you are training. But like, it does cause zombies to pile up, I will agree with you there. I've never actually gone down because of, like, a Deadwire pile-up, though. I don't know, maybe that sounds like might be more of a problem like the tight training areas, like, I don't know, Shadows. I don't know. Zetsubo is another one. I don't know. BO4 has the best supply drop setup, allowing you to earn every base weapon and a lot of variants just from playing. Oh, God. I mean, it does have a good supply drop system. Now, anyway. At launch, or well, during its life cycle, it was horrible. But honestly, I think it's either this or World War II has the best. Because World War II is quite generous with supply drops. Although I will say it took a lot of fucking reserve cases if you want to just get a weapon outright. Which, I mean, I suppose is fair, but also kind of shit. World War II supply drop system was 10 times worse than AW supply drop. Anyway, on that topic, right. Well, what's so bad about World War II supply drop system? Honestly, you get loads of supply drops. And I always get, like, weapon variants, and especially DLC weapon variants, quite frequently. Although I do get a lot of duplicates and things like pistol grips, and maybe that's why. Honestly, though, AW with the pay-to-win variants, and the timed shit, like, oh hey, here's a helmet that you can put on for 30 minutes. And like, care packages, no, AW was just so much worse. Blackout is better than Warzone. Honestly, I never really played much Blackout. I did play a little bit of Warzone, mainly for YouTube videos. Blackout is better than Warzone. Honestly, I think the concept of Blackout is better. Like, when I played Warzone, I didn't really enjoy Warzone too much, but I think I enjoyed it more than Blackout. But I think like the whole concept behind Blackout is really good. Like, all these classic POIs and characters from across, like, the Call of Duty multiplayer and zombies and campaign and whatever. Like, imagine this, right? Warzone was more like Blackout. And it was, like, had all of the studios on it. Like, for example, you could have a squad of, I don't know, we'll say Captain Price, Willard Wyler, I don't fucking know, Dr. Straub, and Richtofen, all in one squad. And there's like a Spaceland POI, and fucking London Docks, and Verrucht, for instance. Firing, just imagine, that would be insane. It's a shame that, you know, we got what we got. But honestly, I'm sort of impartial to either. Victis is better than Ultimus or Primus. Ooh. I think Victis is a very underrated cast. I think they're all about on the same level. They're good for different reasons. Like, Ultimus is obviously a very goofy cast, and I suppose Victis is as well. Primus is a bit more, you know, serious and in-depth, so they are also still quite funny, but because of different reasons than the Ultimus and Victis crew. I think they're all on the same level. Without custom maps, BO3 would be lower than BO2 in popularity. BO3 does still have Zombies Chronicles, though. I don't know about that one. I suppose BO3 would probably like, not as popular, and maybe some other games would overtake it, but BO3 would probably still be considered as one of the best, and it'd probably be one of the more popular games. Advanced Warfare is super underrated. If we're talking about zombies here, not the worst thing ever, but like, it still definitely has a lot of problems. IW alien guns are better than the ray gun and the thunder gun. Honestly, gotta agree. Like, dude, if we're talking like the Pack-a-Punch upgraded alien guns here. Most wanted weapons are better than the ray gun. Like, as good as it is in, like, Cold War, and for most of the games it's pretty meh. The Thunder gun, I suppose it could be, like, say for instance, the things like the Discord and the Head Cutter, I think is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, the Head Cutter. Those ones are quite good. Those ones could probably surpass the Thunder gun. The Shredder, maybe, and the Face Melter, absolutely fucking not. The Face Melter sucks. Zombies in Spaceland is better than every map except Origins, Mob, and Eisendrache. Again, I think that's probably going to be something to expand on when I rank all these maps, but it's definitely better than a lot of the maps. But isn't that just, like, general opinion? It's not even a hot take. You need to have been educated at Oxford University to understand the zombies storyline. Yeah, that's just a fact. That's just a fact, dude. Non-Treyarch zombie games are better than Treyarch zombie games. That is a hot take. Okay, let's do this one by one. AW, maybe better than a handful of the Treyarch zombie games. Like, maybe like World at War, maybe some of BO1, maybe probably Vanguard. I don't think it's better than many of the Treyarch games though. IW is better than most Treyarch games, I'd say. Like, the only ones that would surpass it would be BO3, BO2, and maybe BO4 in Cold War. And World War 2 I think is also pretty good, maybe better than BO4, but I don't think it's better than much else. Blood of the Dead's Easter egg is better than Mob. I've done neither. I tried doing Blood of the Dead's Easter egg, but I do know a little bit about Mob's Easter egg. Isn't it basically just flying the plane a few times and picking up some headphone pickups? I mean, it's not hard to be better than that. The Only Spawn has quite a few more. Descent is the best Exo Zombies map. I think Carrier's better, honestly. But Descent, I think the boss fight, while it is cool, I don't like how it shoves you into it every game, every time you play it. That is the one thing I don't like about Descent. I wouldn't say it's the best Exo Zombies map. I think Carrier's better. Raven the Redwoods is just as good as Spaceland. Raven the Redwoods is super underrated. Honestly, if it's not just as good as Spaceland, it is definitely, like, getting there. Like, it's definitely close. Time Slip is the best BO4 perk next to Dying Wish and Bandolier Bandit. Time Slip. Time Slip is a really, really good perk. Like, you know how it speeds everything up. That is awesome. But, like, Dying Wish. Is it better than Dying Wish and Bandolier Bandit? Is it better than Stamina Up? Honestly, I always run Stamina Up on Modifier. Modifier. Lovely. I'll sometimes run Time Slip. Sometimes I will swap it out for Winter's Wail. The Tortured Path is better than Infection from Exo Zombies. Anything's better than Infection from Exo Zombies, to be honest. The Tortured Path is, I don't want to say underrated because it does have its problems, but it's overhated. I think people say it's the worst thing ever. It's a good mode, but it shouldn't have been DLC free. It shouldn't have been DLC at all. Deadshot Daiquiri is a great perk. Depends what version you're talking about. BO1 to BO3, no, absolutely the fuck not. BO4, maybe. IW, yes. Cold War and onwards, abso-fucking-lutely. The Shadowed Throne is a good map. Here's the thing with the Shadowed Throne, right? I do think it can be quite a fun map. Can be. It's just the setup, and everything else is just a ginormous middle finger to solo players. Guess what my preferred method of playing zombies is? Or my preferred way of playing zombies is? I'm a solo player, so obviously, yeah, no. And the Gekkokt as well are also, like, quite fucking annoying. This map did some good things, but then also just sort of fell flat on its face, fell down a flight of stairs, out of a window, onto the street, and got hit by a fucking car. It can be fun, but it can also be very, 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 very fucking annoying. COD Zombies didn't become good until Jason Blundell was involved with Mob of the Dead. World at War and BO1 Zombies in the Zelensky era as a whole mostly ranges from meh and mediocre to decent at best. Some of the Zelensky maps were pretty good, like, Moon was pretty good, you know, Ascension was also quite good, Call of the Dead was great, Die Rise was also pretty good, Doris as well, obviously, great map, invaded a lot, pretty mediocre by today's standards, but, you know, It did innovate a lot. But to say it didn't become good until Jason Blundell, no. Jimmy Zielinski was doing pretty good up until, like, Transit sort of just, like, shafted his whole reputation. If I found your channel before this video, I would have said Shi No Numa is a top 10 map and the best World at War map. Firstly, welcome aboard. Secondly, no, you're wrong. Shi No Numa is a top 10 map and the best World at War map. I know that the high rounds on World at War for this are like really like fun. I've heard that. I haven't done it. I don't even have the World at War version of Shi No Numa. But is it a top 10 map? Absolutely not. I'd say Shi No Numa is pretty mediocre, below average even. And the best World at War map, I mean, I suppose if you're thinking of the high rounds for World at War, then maybe, but I think Der Riese is also quite good. I think it's probably in between Shi No Numa and Der Riese, honestly.
Sir, we got a problem.
What's the problem, mate?
The guy who said about Darkest Shore being better than Origins.
Yeah, what about him?
He's back.
Oh god. It's me again, and you know what's coming! Dear god, here we go. Right. Shaolin is the best IW map. No. No, it isn't. It's an alright map, but like, the ninja zombies and the setup kind of being a pain to learn do sort of set it back a bit, like all the different spawn locations, right, the flyer and the film reel and all this shit. Besides, Spaceland is better, I think. Rave is better. Attack of the Radioactive Thing is better. The ninja zombies in this map aren't as bad as in Beach from Beyond, but I would be lying if I said that it didn't drag it down a bit. People who hate non-Treyarch games probably would really like it if it had Treyarch title in the loading screen. Honestly, probably. I mean, imagine if IW made Treyarch, nothing changed. No. What have I just fucking said? If Treyarch made Infinite Warfare, nothing changed, everything was the same, people would dick ride it as hard as BO3, if not even harder, like, dude. World War 2 as well, that'd be like, people would say about how it's such a good game. I feel like people just don't like the non-Treyarch games just because they're not made by Treyarch. And I hate those kind of people. Right, Targ is better than Call of the Dead. Ooh, is it? Now I'm asking myself, is Targ better than Call of the Dead? What's Call of the Dead got? George is pretty cool. PhD, Flopper as well. Obviously, Scavenger is good. But I think Targ does do a lot of things better than Call of the Dead. Like, I think it has better fast travel systems. Even though Targ itself doesn't have much variety in, like, the special zombies and, you know, different zombie types. I think it has better variety than Call of the Dead, because in Call of the Dead you have just the zombies and George. In Targ you have Hellhounds, you have the fire zombies, which have a bit of utility in the map, the electric zombies, which have a bit of utility in the map. It has better wonder weapons in my opinion. The Wunderwaffe sharpshooter is pretty good, and the Tundra gun and the Thunder gun are also quite good, whereas the Scavenger is alright up until a certain point, and the VR11 is just not good in solo. Honestly, I think Targ is probably better than Call of the Dead, but I think they are quite close. Moon is trash. Wrong! I think it's not for everybody, but like, I've heard that the BO3 version of Moon is better than the BO1 version. I definitely do see like it's not for everybody. Like, the excavators and the astronaut, I suppose, can get annoying. My main gripe about the map though is Jug and Speed Cola being in Area 51 and being in the same place, but it alternates between the two. I fucking hate that about Moon. That's the one thing I do not like. Everything else though, like, I don't mind the astronaut, I don't mind the excavators, I think the hacker is really fucking cool, and the QEDs as well. I mean, Moon is hardly trash, I just don't think that it's for everyone. I like it. Zetsubo plan system is best reward system. I haven't really utilised the plan system in Zetsubo enough, but I have seen what it can do, and I gotta say, yeah, it is probably the best reward system. You can get like free perks, the like who's who sort of thing, like the imprint, all sorts of shit. I do think it is quite good. I think it might be the best reward. I think it might be the best. I probably need to experiment a bit more, to be honest. Night has the best challenge system. Ooh, does it? Does it though? Does it? I'm trying to think what the challenge systems. Zetsubo's challenge system is pretty bad. I know Rev has a challenge system, I have no fucking clue what it does. Origins is alright, I guess. I don't like how Double Tap is locked behind it though. That is kind of shit. And the modern sort of challenge system, Ancient Evil and onwards, I think is pretty good. Honestly, I think the modern challenge, like the trial system, might be better, but a 9 has a pretty good challenge system. I don't know which one is better, really. I don't really end up doing that much in the trials anyway, so I do end up doing the challenges on 9, so maybe I feel more inclined to do the challenges on 9 than the trials on the other maps, so maybe 9 is better. I don't know. World at War is fucking awful. Oh god, there's gonna be someone in this comment section that's pissed on me agreeing with this. Oh, to be honest, World at War, it was good for the time, but it has aged really fucking poorly. Like, the zombies that drag you in, the bugs, the weapons, dude. Oh, the bugs. Did I mention the bugs and the zombies that pull you in? The maps as well. Like, okay, yeah, sure, it was the first maps of of zombies ever, but like, to say that it has one of the weaker map selections, especially by today's standards, I mean, am I wrong in saying that? I mean, yeah, I know it was like, that was just how it was back then, but like, it's just sort of not, like the moment BO1 dropped, World at War just wasn't really worth going back to. Like, because BO1 has the World at War map, BO3 has all the World at War maps. Like, if you're gonna play this map, just play one of those versions, I think. Maybe BO3, I mean, unless you're trying to go for, like, say, high rounds in Shino Numa or something, or I don't know, you want the atmosphere of Rogue, apparently that lost a lot of its atmosphere, I wouldn't know. Then yeah, sure, but World at War, it's definitely not aged great. It's not great by today's standards. DE Panzer is better than the Origins Panzer, honestly. I don't get why people hate the shock charges so much. Like, yeah, they're a bit annoying, but the Origins Panzer, I don't understand the hate of the DE Panzer. The Origins Panzer is so much fucking worse, especially on BO3. Is it just me? Like, I swear, every time I go against the DE Panzer, like, he's hardly a threat. He drops like a fucking bag of bricks. And the Origins Panzer is always just like a tank. The claw is janky. The map layout also for Origins does not help with making the Panzer less annoying. Honestly, I'm going to agree with that one. World War II doesn't have bad maps. I agree that World War II doesn't have bad maps, so to speak. Like, even the Shadowed Throne can be fun sometimes, as I'm saying. Like, I suppose it's a Shadowed Throne a bad map. Like, I can see what it tried to do, but it didn't work. I think the Shadowed Throne is probably the only bad map, and even then, other than the setup, it's not that bad. Darkest Shore is kind of mediocre. Frozen Dawn is good, and the Final Right needs no introduction. I think it's a really fucking good map. Tortured Path as well. I suppose it was just mediocre, that one. Like, it was a good side mode that could have been expanded upon, but it shouldn't have been DLC. Like Onslaught, for instance. It should have been like a side mode like that. Aether ending was good. Honestly, I think people's main gripes with the Aether ending was the way the cutscene was done. Like, I think the ending was good, but I think that the cutscene, like the sort of the comic style cutscene, was just kind of crap. It should have been like a rendered cutscene, like, you know, the start of BO4 or BO3. But you know that there were massive budget cuts and all that for BO4, and it was sort of everything was just sort of rushed, and development was a nightmare for that. So I'll give him a bit of slack. BO4's ending was definitely one of the better endings we've had. I think it was better than BO3. Gorod Krovi is the best BO3 map. No. I mean, come on. DE and Revelations are right there, and you're saying Gorod? I think Gorod, out of the base maps, like not including Chronicles, I think Gorod is probably in the worst end of the maps. I mean, Gorod is still a decent map. I wouldn't call it the best map in BO3. I think it's probably on the worst end. Outbreak is the best Cold War map. I mean, again, Die Maschine, Mauer, Forsaken are right there. I mean, Outbreak is fun. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I know, like, I prefer round base at the end of the day. Outbreak is good. I think it was one of the better objective modes. But, honestly, I think, like, Die Maschine and Mauer and Forsaken are better. The Ancient Evil Scepter and Sundial step is good. Now, I haven't done the Ancient Evil Easter egg. I do want to eventually, you know, go around and do like all the Easter eggs that like Call of Duty that can be done solo. That is sort of what I am trying to do now. Like, you know, I've done IW, I've done some of BO3, I've only done DE, haven't I? I've done Moon, I've done Cold War, and I haven't really done Ancient Evil Easter egg. So I have absolutely no fucking clue what this step is, to be honest. I'm gonna have to pass on that. Maybe I'll give a better opinion on it after I've actually done Ancient Evil Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs in Zombies that I haven't done and I need to do and I want to do for a video. Buried is hard for high rounds. Now, from my knowledge of buried high rounds, isn't it basically just like you're juggling between getting turbines and subsurface resonators, and if you make one fuck up, then you're just dead? Like, I've heard that it's meant to be, like, for the easy map that buried is, it is meant to be quite hard. High rounds, like, COD IW has only two good maps. That's wrong. That's straight up wrong. Assuming that you're talking about Shaolin and Spaceland, well, you have Attack of the Radioactive Thing and Raven the Redwoods. Those maps are also good. I know Attack of the Radioactive Thing being good is a hot take, but I genuinely do not understand the hate for that map. Beach and Beyond, I think it's a genuinely bad map. We got some more hot takes from Conmic1337. Victis is better than Optimus and Primus. I think I've already done this take, so I'm gonna go to the next one. Thundergun over Raygun. That's just a fact. The Raygun is an infinite damage, the Thundergun is. The Thundergun can clear a whole horde in like one shot. The Raygun, no it can't. To be honest, yeah, that's just a fact. Best perk is Dying Wish. If we're talking about BO4 here, then yeah, Dying Wish is the best perk. Probably, like, other than... Dying Wish is one of the best perks. I think the best perks in BO4 are tied for me between Dying Wish and Stamina Up in its modifier, and maybe Bandolier Bandit. Origins is overrated. I think I've covered this in my last video. I think it is quite overrated. It's still a good map, but not like people say it's great. It's one of the best maps ever made. I don't think it is. Without mods, BO2 and 3 wouldn't be as good to others. I've covered this, I think, already, again. But also, BO3 had Zombies Chronicles and maps like DE, Shadows, which a lot of people like, Zetsubo, which people are, coming around on, Gorod, which some people like, and Rev, which I like, and some people do. Campaign is one of the important modes, like zombies and multiplayer. Also, I do think a campaign is a good campaign is something that can make a good Call of Duty game, especially a replayable one, like say Cold Wars or BO2. Yeah, it can be an important mode, but in the end of the day, I don't think it's as important as multiplayer. I think multiplayer is the main selling point, and then zombies, and then campaign. Right, Only Spawns back. Oh, I've got plenty of hot takes for you. The Frozen Dawn is the worst map of all time. I've actually just lost the will to live reading that. Alright. The Frozen Dawn is the worst map of all time? No. No, it is not. Not even fucking close, my guy. The Frozen Dawn, it has its issues, sometimes mainly in the sometimes mainly like World War II's issues, and like bustling being kind of annoying. But the Frozen Dawn is not a bad map. Shadows of Evil is better than Mob of the Dead. Some people say this, and like, I disagree. I think Mob of the Dead is better. I think the thing that really drags Mob of the Dead down is a 2-hit down system. I think Mob is better. Descent is slightly better than Final Reich. No, it is not. Descent, again, going back to what I said, the way it drags you into the boss battle, it doesn't even compare to the Final Reich. What am I even saying? Like, I'm saying, oh hey, this is the reason why Descent is better. No, the Final Reich is just, like, it's one of the best maps ever made. Why would Descent be better? What does Descent have over the Final Reich? It's Exo Zombie, the weapons are weak, the Wonder Weapon is weak, EMZs, Blinker Zombies, the fucking Oz boss fight that it drags you into every time, while it is cool, it is also kind of annoying being dragged into it every single fucking time. Right. Ancient Evil is better than 9, yep. Gotta agree. The Magnetron is worse than the Jet Gun. That's just a fact. I mean, at least the Jet Gun can kill things. The Magnetron, it struggles like... Round 15, this thing is struggling no matter how much you upgrade it. It struggles. Targ the Totem is worse than Transit. No. No, it isn't. Targ's pretty good. Transit is not great in the slightest. PhD Flopper is the most overrated perk. Honestly, PhD Flopper I think is quite overrated. Like, people say how it's like one of the best perks, and like, it's only really good if you're running explosive weapons. So like, it would only really be good on Call of the Dead, or if you run an explosive weapon on anywhere else. Like Call of the Dead, apparently is it meant to be like useful on Shangri-La as well? I forget. And Moon as well. You can get lots of fall damage from Moon, especially from like the landing pads, launch pads, whatever they are in the biodome. It's useful, it has its uses, but it's very situational, I think. It depends on your strategy. Time Slip and Bandolier Bandit are the best BO4 perks. I mean, Dying Wish can save your life. Stamina Up is, to me anyway, basically a requirement. Like, Stamina Up in your modifier slot, I cannot live without it. Time Slip and Bandit Bandit though are great perks. Like, Time Slip is great quality of life, and Bandit Bandit is basically just permanently in my loadout because, like, there was no reason not to run it. Like, extra ammo. Who doesn't like extra ammo? Especially like wonder weapons and shit, dude. I think Bandolier Bandit is definitely one of the best BO4 perks, but Time Slip, it's a good perk. It's definitely up there. Would I say it? No, probably not. It's definitely only just like not one of the best. Like, it's not one of the best because the competition, what's above it, is just so fucking fierce. Double Tap 1 is actually a good perk. I mean, it's an okay perk. I feel like the main argument of Double Tap 1 being bad is, you know, it increases your fire rate, you go through your ammo faster, but at the same time it just sort of increases DPS, and like, it's okay. Like, you kill the zombies faster, but you go through your ammo faster. At the end of the day, it's just sort of there. You're killing the zombies anyway, even without it. It's a mediocre perk, if anything. Ultimus Richtofen is better than Primus Richtofen. Ooh. See, I think they're both great. Primus is a lot more dark and gritty, but he is also still fun. The Ultimus cast is great. The Primus cast is great. Honestly, I think that Primus Richtofen and Ultimus Richtofen are basically like, they're about on the same level as each other. They're both funny for different reasons. They both have like their interesting background as well, like doing shit with, like, Ultimus doing shit with the MPD or whatever, and the Chronobrium with Primus Richtofen. I don't really understand much of the lore, to be honest. Here's one. Why in the bluest of blue hell did they take away the TIC system in newer installments? We used to be able to hit zombies and legs 8 or 9 times, 10 points. Oh, the tick system! I think you're talking about the old point system. Honestly, I think the old point system was probably the best point system. It definitely made a lot of sense. But honestly, I don't really mind the other point systems. Like, people say how about Cold War's point system being bad, or Black Ops 4's point system being bad. Honestly, I don't really mind it. I don't know why they really got rid of it. It's just sort of like fixing something that isn't broken. But I suppose BO4's, I mean, maybe incentivizing the use to use like the more damaged weapons in the earlier rounds. I think the old point system is better, but I'm sort of impartial to it. The Blundergat is a better weapon. I'm taking it you're saying it's a better weapon than the Acid Gat and maybe the Magma Gat? I'm gonna have to get some stats up here. Hold on. Blundergat deals 1,000 times, so 7,000 damage, 1,000 damage per pellet when Pack-a-Punch and turned into the Sweeper. Right. Okay, so the Acid Gat, by the looks of it, has sort of better stats. I mean, 1,500 to 500. Is that range, or is that just like does it just do random damage between that? I'm not sure exactly how the damage works on these. Suppose with the shotgun. The Acid Gat works like a monkey bomb though as well. Is the Blunder Gat a better weapon? Let's have a look at the Magma Gat. There's no damage stats here, so let's just not even... I'm looking at the Call of Duty wiki, it's alright. Is the Blunder Gat? I think the Acid Gat, look at the stats here, it has the potential to do 500 extra damage than the Blunder Gat, but at the same time it has like damage variation. I suppose the Acid Gat is sort of like a side grade, I suppose, I guess. Last one. Our final hot take comes from the man P444 again. World at War PPSH is the best weapon in Zombies history. Also, Vanguard Zombies is good still. Winky face. Wow, hell no for the second take. I mean, Shinonuma was good, but the first two maps are garbage. Archon is alright. Firstly, that guy's take there at the bottom. Actually, that's pretty true. World at War PPSH is the best weapon in Zombies history. I'm going to have to pull up some statistics here. I'm pretty sure that Black Ops 3's PPSH has better damage and all that. I mean, maybe the World at War version feels better to use because unlike Black Ops 3, World at War's sound design isn't total ass. I think that statistically the BO3 version is better. Future me can correct me if I'm wrong. As for Vanguard Zombies being good, it's not the best, it's not great, but it does have its fun moments, especially on Shinonuma. It's definitely got the best version of Shinonuma. The Archon is alright. The other two maps, though, they're unfun. The Terra Maledicta are shite. Yeah. Right, that's going to conclude Hot Takes Episode 2 anyway. Leave your hot takes in the comments below, and I might do an Episode 3. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.